Guys, okay, so I was actually getting some packing done because I have a trip to take, but I just wanted to stop and come on here because I just did OSHAY's panel and I got thrown off. Well, this is cool though, because I mean, one time he shut the show down because of me. This time I literally got thrown off because basically I triggered a lot of people and I was talking out of turn. So it's cool. But I wanted to come on here and I wanted just to talk about what I found so disturbing about the conversations that we were having on the panel. So the topic was about abortion and if more abortions are needed, specifically in the Black community. And as panels do, side conversations started to happen, questions started to branch out, and it became about male-female sexual interaction. And being the only woman on the panel at the time, the men started to talk about anecdotal sort of situations that they had as evidence for their opinions. And so one guy was talking about being married and his wife basically letting him have extramarital affairs, but not wanting him to get emotionally attached, which he was finding difficult at times, not having sex, you know, in their house, stuff like that. Another guy was like, he's in a relationship with a woman. She won't come out and give him permission to cheat, but she knows how he is. And she just basically wouldn't want anybody like in the house, I think he said, or anything like that. Somebody else was talking about how they were having unprotected sex with a woman that they didn't want to reproduce with. He was about to come and he had to physically like pick the woman up and move her because she was going to clamp down. So all this talking is going on, right? All this talking is happening. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, is anybody hearing what I'm hearing? Am I the only one that's hearing what's being said here? And when it came my turn to talk, I was so overwhelmed with like disgust and concern. And I started off what I had to say by making a point that I really felt, based on what I heard, that the wavelength that I'm on and my thought process is so different from a lot of the people that spoke that I was pretty sure they weren't going to be able to understand where I was coming from. But what the heck? Let's shoot for it anyway. So this is basically what I said. And see, I want to hear like in the comment section if you guys are kind of like following me. So I was basically like, this seems like an issue with self-love. Like, I'm hearing you say, I don't love, value, or care to protect myself. And, you know, one of the guys was talking about, like, you don't have to care about the woman you sleep with. Like, you don't owe her anything. She doesn't owe you anything. All you guys basically owe each other is a good time in the sack. And I don't know when this attitude about sex became so casual. There are a lot of things that can happen to you when you choose to engage in intercourse with another person. And this is outside of the orgasm, right? You can get the person pregnant, or you can get pregnant if you're a woman. You can get a sexually transmitted disease, or I think they're calling sexually transmitted infections now. You can... You can get a life sentence. You can get HIV/AIDS. We know there are various forms of HIV/AIDS now. Repression drugs aside, there are just a lot of consequences. Like I said, you could create a whole nother being. Like, there are a lot of consequences that come with sex. It's not like going to the movies or inviting somebody to dinner. And that's kind of, I feel like, where we've come in the world, that we treat this. You know, where a person will talk about having no condom, trusting their body and their health by using no condom with a woman that they don't want to reproduce with, as if that's okay and normal. Like, oh, you guys know what I'm talking about. Well, somebody will talk about endangering themselves and their spouse or significant other by sleeping around with random women as if it's normal. Or okay. And so I said, this seems like you don't love yourself. Like to the young brother that was like, well, you don't have to respect the woman. You don't have to care about that woman that you're sleeping with. Of course you don't. That's what I was thinking. If you don't even care about yourself, how are you going to care about another person? You can't. You lack self-love. You lack love for yourself. There's no way that you can care about another human being. And I was so disgusted. I think a lot of people were trying to like figure out, strangely, what my problem was. I was just actually disgusted. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I felt like, is this like we're gonna act like this is normal? Like this dysfunctional thinking is healthy and normal? And I think it's becoming more normalized. I think it is. And here's the thing, we all make mistakes. But in life, we should learn from our mistakes and grow past them. We should develop as people. We should walk through the world and want to be our best selves. And part of being our best selves is also looking out for the interests of others. You're not your best self if you're just purely a selfish individual. And this would come into sexual responsibility. You know, we wouldn't need an abortion debate if people were sexually responsible. There'd be no debate to have. We wouldn't need to worry about sexually transmitted diseases if people weren't sharing themselves with the whole world. You know, in the Black community, we have some of the highest STD rates, only trumped by homosexual men. And what do we have in common? Promiscuity. I think, and this is what I advise, and I've said this in other videos, we really have to turn off media, television, radio, walk away from the newspaper, walk away from your computer. You know, don't use internet on your smartphone. Get a flip phone, I don't know. And walk through the world for a period of time. I always suggest at least 6 months with intention to value yourself and care for yourself and equally value and care for the people around you. And it will really change your perspective on a lot of things. What I heard, it hurt my heart. It hurt my heart because what I recognize is that I can think whatever I want. I could think that you're valuable. I could think that I'm valuable. I could think that we should value each other's bodies, that we should value the children we create, that we should move responsibly throughout the world, that we should have accountability toward each other and toward ourselves. But if the majority of people don't think that way, then the environment we live in becomes conducive to the unhealthy mindset. A lot of people were like, well, this is normal behavior. This is the world we live in. But normal is not healthy always. A lot of unhealthy things have been normal throughout time. What happened in Nazi Germany? It was normal during that time. It wouldn't make it right. You know what I mean? Slavery in the United States and throughout the world. Normal at some points in time. Doesn't make it right. In Greek society, mentoring, sexual contact and relationship with children, little boys, normal, part of everyday society, doesn't make it right. A lot of normal things aren't right, especially when people are dysfunctional. And we really have to move past these attitudes. We really have to start being present for our choices and how we move throughout life. You know, our failures can make us wise. Some of the most wise individuals have failed a lot because you learn so much from failure if you're teachable. And so I'm going to leave it there and just say, learn from life and grow. I hope to learn from life and grow alongside you. And then together us progress to a place where dysfunctional, unhealthy behaviors that show a lack of love and respect for yourself and others is not the norm. Because it's not right. I'll talk to you guys later.